Well, it's Sunday and the market's closed tomorrow, so people are like, what's gonna happen this week, Lou? I don't know. I'm not no prophet teller. Um, but the funny thing is, like, people ask me, like, why, how I found the PDPG stock and why. And it's like, it's funny because it's all out there, but I mean, everybody has a piece on it. I mean, everybody has a piece on it. You could just Google it and everything pops up and whatever. But it was something interesting because I was watching for a while and I kind of filtered down some things and I finally got to the one piece. Let me take you back a little bit so people understand my methodology on something. Like, I'm that kind of a person. I chase things through a rabbit hole, through a workflow. Whenever you have a company like a penny stock, anything under $5 falls into that category. Okay, you know, it's one of those things where it's a low price stock, you have high gains, yada yada yada. Okay, but you start looking into because you don't want to get mauled. You don't want to go to a company that doesn't have anything going on. And you take a look at this company from the face value of it. It's just like it had a lot of shares out there. It wasn't making any money. It basically was, it had its product line, had its business, but it was basically a dead company. Then, I think it was in May of last. Let me see. Yeah, it was in May of last year. They put out a tweet. You can probably find it out there. I don't know if it's still up there. They put out a tweet with a guy on a microphone saying, "Is anybody out there?" So the company is dormant, quiet, not doing anything, not saying anything. Probably, you know, there's some people in this channel that have more money in their bank account than they have in their bank account. They have something like, I think it was like a little under 200,000 in the bank, and they were living on the cash flow from their business, but not being profitable. That being said, and their overhead costs was something in a couple of 100,000, whatever, operational costs. So it was like, okay, man, it looks like whatever. But then, something happened last year. Like the SEC changed the rules on, companies' requirements to be listed, and that meant that they had to be producing. Okay, you couldn't, you had to show numbers. You couldn't just be listed like, hey, give us money for stocks. We're not making any money, because then you have people creating shell companies just for stock, and like Ape, like Ape was a perfect example. Ape was AMC-ish, but it wasn't AMC. Where's the revenue from Ape? AMC. So why not just keep it at AMC? No, it was just one of those weird things. People go, no, Ape is not like that. Well, technically speaking, how was Ape financed? From us. So anyway, it was like a shell stock at the end of the day. If there was none of us, there would be no Ape. So shell companies, they need people to invest in them in order for them to operate. And the reason they have a lot of shares is because what they want to do is, if investors buy into them, they want to be able to sell their own stock in order to finance their company or themselves or their nice cars or their homes and everything else. So you got to be very careful with those kind of companies. Okay, that being said, so the SEC changed the rules. You had to start, putting numbers down, whatever. And all of a sudden, the company put out that tweet, and it was like a guy on a microphone saying, "Hello, is anybody there?" Now, that was like a running joke, but people don't understand like what that meant. That kind of meant like they're still there, they're still alive, and that bumped them up a bit. But then something interesting happened. That was part one of things to come. When they put that tweet out, a couple of months later, they brought in a new CEO. And the CEO, part of his pedigree is that he turns around companies. And he even said it himself. That's his background. And then the company started to do something interesting. It started to eliminate a lot of the shares that were above, the SS, the 1.25 billion shares that they had, which is something, and nobody wants a giant float, all those shares. They want a smaller, tight float in order to invest in. So that wasn't done with us in it. That was done before me getting into, or other people getting into it. Then they locked up the shares the CEO and the C-level has, like the company has. They locked them up in the treasury. They just recently did this. So you got a new CEO after they did the tweet, and now they cleaned up all the shares, and then on top of that, they're saying now that they're pursuing new cash flow positive acquisitions. Now they're in that energy drink space that, those little drinks that you drink that give you extra energy and stuff. I'm not into that stuff. But nonetheless, I do know that's a market that people, whatever. That's neither here nor there for me, because as a day trader, I'm in, I make profits, I get out. I'm in, I don't make profits, I get out. It's not like a long-term strategy. I'm not looking for that. But that being said, the company has been doing little steps to creep back to life and clean themselves up. With or without us, I have a feeling that after they cleaned up the shares that they just did, they're going to be making announcements on revenue in the future, because they will have to in order to stay within the parameters that are set on them, because now you have to show revenue. So they make the announcement on Twitter. It's kind of funny, whatever. Then they turn around and hire a new CEO, and the CEO is like, turnaround guy. Then they clean up the shares on top. Then they lock up their own shares. And then they say that they're looking to do cash flow positive acquisitions. Like, what are they doing? Are they buying another company? Are they buying new product lines? Whatever it may be, but they tend to be going in a pattern to something. And when people go, well, how do you know when it's because you look at everything and you make your best guesstimation based on patterns of going. And it's like, okay, what's the next step? Are they going to announce they bought something or something? Now, I'm not in it for the long term, but it's been popping up on the radar more and more. And for me, even a little bump up as somebody comes in, takes profits and get out, that's a great thing for me. So I took a look at a lot of things from the past, and then I narrowed down more than the headline down to the press release where the CEO was like, turnaround guy, they cleaned up the shares, and they're looking to make something happen. So I'm like, okay, so they're not going to create more shares. They're not going to dump shares. The float's not going to get bigger. So I'm like, okay, that makes it something that I said to myself, okay, I'll place a hit on it and see where it takes me. And the reason I put this out is because I see a lot of people jumping from one play to another play to another play to another play, and all these different plays. And a lot of plays have had money. When I said the SDIG, whatever it calls, the mining company, went in and went up. That has nothing to do with me. But at the end of the day, it was just because I knew that Bitcoin was going to have a bump, because I know that the crypto winter is ending, and I know that they mine. The same thing with Mara. They're crypto miners, they're Bitcoin miners. So it's like you could see little patterns show up. But in this, the tweet, the new CEO, the cleaning up of the billion shares, the locking up the company shares, and now the CEO making the press release stating that, now he has a clean company, and now he's on the hunt for cash flow positive, yada, yada. So I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on along the lines? Am I going to hold to the moon? Absolutely not. I don't do that, because at the end of the day, that's psycho stuff. But my order's there like everybody else. And it's funny because people don't understand like why I did it, why I talked about it on the weekends. Real simple. Because I can't buy stocks on the weekends. All I could do is put an order, like you put an order in. So nobody can say, oh, you own the stock. No, I don't. I don't own the stock. I don't know the company. I don't know the CEO. They don't pay me. I don't know nobody about it. And at the end of the day, I may not even get my order filled come Tuesday morning. So it equals out the playing field. So if I talk about something and I'm not in it and I'm getting into it, I don't even know if I'm going to get my order processed, because that happens. It could open up or whatever, and I got to adjust, and I miss my thing or whatever. It happens. Am I going to cry about it? No. I'm not going to do that because I'm a grown man and I don't cry about if my position doesn't get filled or if I get caught in a play. I don't do that. If you do that, seek help. But that's my reasoning behind why I got in. It wasn't just, hey, this is cool. Now, last night I asked Chat GTP the first version of it, not the second one. The second one of it, I haven't asked it yet, but let me see if I do ask it. I asked it a question live on the wine lounge last night, and let me see if I can get into this now. Well, the question was, what will be, I think it was the question, the highest stock price for Pdpg in 2023. Now I think the question was somewhere like, I screenshotted it, so I have proof of it, and I did it live, so everybody saw it happening. Do I believe this? No. Is it creepy? Yes. Is it AI? Yes. Could there be some possibility of it? I don't know. Where is it getting this information? But either way, I asked that question. Let me go now to the, because it gives you the little commercial thing, and then it gives you the answer. But it was weird, after all these things that I did, all of a sudden it's just like, it gave me that. And it says here, it's typing it now. As you can see, it's not me. The highest stock price for Pdpg in 2023 is $10. How can AI say that? 2023 just begun. There is no possible way. The future has not happened yet. It's not. And for people to go, oh, he uses Chat GTP. No, I just decided the other day to turn around and run it through AI. I did it last night live as a joke. Look at what I did with the digital dollar the other day. So it did this. So if you want on the new version of Chat GTP or the old, ask, what will be the highest stock price for Pdpg in 2023? So I'm asking an AI, an open source AI that I do not own, I'm not tied to. At the end of the day, you could do it yourself. How the hell is it getting that information? It says it right there. The highest stock price of Pdpg in 2023 is $10. When is that going to happen? In June? Next week? In November? I don't know. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But that there last night had me cracking up because I'm just like, yeah, that's freaky. So on top of all the other things, that's how I made my decision. But if this thing is correct, then this video, because the wine lounge stuff, that stuff, whatever, YouTube blocks and clips and whatever. But this here, how is that even possible? Now, I know how the price can climb up, but I give you an example. What's going to trigger that price to climb up to that? Are they going to announce like they got an energy drink that, like, I don't know, makes fat people look sexy and skinny or something? I don't know what they're going to do. For a $10 gain, that's crazy. But you can look at it yourself. AI typed it out there. As a matter of fact, I can... Yeah, what will be the highest stock price for Pdpg in 2023? And it said the highest stock price for Pdpg in 2023 is $10. Do it yourself. Fact check me. I didn't create this. This is something as novelty. I just put it through here. I'm not putting any stock in this. I have not used this in a format that I can gauge. Was it correct? Was it, maybe at the end of the year, I'll have more historical data. Now I don't. But the fact that it said this, how could it even know this? So anyway, the tweet, the new CEO, them cleaning up the billion shares or above out there, them locking up the executive shares, and then on top of that, the CEO saying they're looking for positive cash flow acquisitions. And then this. Okay, now the funny thing is this. I don't own any shares in this. I put in my order, and my order is out there pending. It could be rejected. That's just how it is. You can put an order in, at the end of the day, it's not fulfilled. Then you got to try again. So I'm not in this. I would like to be in this. I'm going to be in this. I want to be in this, whatever. But everybody now hearing this video, watching this video, or the one before, has an equal chance, because nobody could get in front of us or me or you. Because why? Let's face it, it's the weekend. Institutes can't get in. We can't get in. Nobody could get in. Talk about evil. This is like even the most even you can be. Nobody has a leg up on nobody. Tell me that's not the most legit, legal, clean way to tell people about, hey, listen, I found this stock. I think it is. Because at the end of the day, it's clean. So, Johnny Love, and I guess I'll see you all tonight.